Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Emmanuel Odeke and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk. Today is the 20th day in the month of June. So don't be surprised, the month is the year is halfway gone. And so you need to evaluate yourself. Some people wrote a few things to do this year and probably you want to gauge yourself and see how far so far. But better late than never. Who knows? Anything can happen within the next half of the year, and you can be surprised. Sometimes God doesn't come so fast like we expect, but then later on, things choose to work out. So that's a bit. But nevertheless, I am here with my guest today, and we'll be discussing pre-marital relationships. This is the Diocesan Youth Chair for the Diocese of Kampala, and he got married recently. So Paul, you're welcome to the show again. I'm sure from the time he got married to date, he has not appeared here yet.
Thank you. It's a joy to be back. Let's talk.
I can see Madame seems to be doing a good job.
Yeah, I think she's fulfilling what the Bible says.
Very interesting things here. That's the beauty of getting married. When you get married, some things change automatically. So that's the beauty. But well, today we'll be discussing pre-marital times, pre-marital status, pre-marital. What do you do before you get married? That time before then is what we'll be discussing today. And so if you're not yet married, you want to listen in. If you're married, some people get married and they don't they skipped a stage. And so if you skipped a stage, you want to listen in. So don't tamper touching your remote and thinking of changing to another place elsewhere. So I am here today up to 10 o'clock. We'll definitely be here enriching lives. And that's what we do best. We try as much as possible to do what we do to the fullest of our ability. Not because we can do it, but because it is our passion to do it. So Paul, would you say hi to our viewers and then we can get to the discussion?
Hello, everyone listening to us. Thank you for tuning in to Family TV and more especially Let's Talk. Let's Talk, when you see in the program, they say is uncensored program, but it is something that started on a YouTube channel and we were there. But we thank God for Family TV that Let's Talk is here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. up to 10. And for today's topic, we pray that God will help us to be faithful to it, because it is one of those that some people don't want to hear.
I'm hopeful you will not spiritualize it so much.
I think depending on what spiritualizing means, but I believe everything has to be spiritual as long as God is part of it.
Okay.
That makes it spiritual.
For today in particular, send your regards to your wife, so that all the single girls out there get to know you are taken.
I send my regard to my beloved wife, Caroline Geno. I know she's listening, she's watching, she's somewhere. Yes.
Can see how the brother is breathing well. All right. So back to our topic today. What happens during the premarital times? What should people be engaged in? Is falling in love a sin?
I think here in particular, we are not talking about brotherly love, but we are talking about the love of a man who is male. And maybe before we go to the topic, I want to thank President Museveni for signing the anti-homosexuality bill, because there are people who are trying to redefine what God has made. And so for me, when we talk about love here, it is between a man and a woman. And depending on the context that you're falling in love in, falling in love is not sin. Provided you're ready for it, provided you've reached that age. I don't expect a man of 30 years to fall in love with a young girl of 12, or a woman of 40 falling in love with a minor, and you say, we are in love. I think that is an abuse. So falling in love is not sin, depending on how you do it.
All right. So if what is the right place? Why should people get into a relationship? Nowadays, everyone has a boyfriend, has a girlfriend, and stuff like that. Why? We want to get the reason so that when you get into something, there is a purpose for it.
So I think when we talk about a relationship, people get into relationships for different reasons. And that is where whether it will succeed or it will fail come from. Just a few things. There are people who their motive for falling or going for a relationship is peer pressure. Because my friend is in love, I can also go for it. Peer pressure. If you ask them, do you have a vision, the outcome? Yeah, they may say we shall get married and go where, but the actual thing that took them there is peer pressure. Is their heart there? No. It is their mind, and so on. Other people go there to escape from home. To escape from home. Maybe something is not going on well at home, so they think the only way for me to survive is to enter into a relationship either with this woman or with this man who will give me a house where I can be. And so they go there because they're escaping from home. Others go there to find companionship, which I think is a good thing. By the time you go to a relationship to find companionship or companion, I believe you understand what you want. But there are also those who go there to appear normal because they think when you're single, you're abnormal. When people find you single, they think you're abnormal. So they go there to be normal. There are those who go there to love and to be loved, which I think is okay. There are those who go to relationships for financial security. Both men and women. I know men like saying, ladies only like money. But there are men also who go to women because of their money. And then people go to relationships to enjoy sex. Or others enter into a relationship just because they want to have sex. And plus many reasons that other people out there who are listening to us fell into relationships for. Of course, those who go for relationships for companionship, to be loved, to love, to have sex and enjoy it in the confines of God, they go there because they want to get married. I want to get married, so you go into a relationship because you know the end result is marriage, and you cleave and you stay together.
So what should be the rightful reason? The most appealing to you?
I think the most appealing relationship should be, the reason for entering a relationship is because you want to get married to the person.
So if you don't want to get married to the person?
Then there's no reason for you to go there.
But there are quite a number of reasons that you've just given.
These ones, every reason that is not leading to marriage is only going to bring heartbreak, is only going to bring failures, and all these other negative things. But if you're a Christian, that I want to believe, if you're a Christian and you're entering into a relationship, the outcome of the relationship should be to get married.
Okay.
Not to try something, but to get married.
All right. We'll get to the place of money in a relationship before people get married. But before we get there, could we discuss a bit, why have these relationships failed?
Why have relationships failed?
I'm not saying all. There are some that have failed.
So
and you'll notice that quite a number of people, they will tell you, I had this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then at the end of the tunnel, he gets some light, and boo, he's getting married to one lady. What is the reason? Were all these people wrong choices?
I want to believe that if we are Christians, the first thing I want to put there is God. The reason relationships fail, God. Because God knows you're entering into it, and He knows it's not going to work. So God knows it. But also, there are the other things that are human in nature that have made relationships to fail. One of them is timing. Timing. You've gone into a relationship at a wrong time. You're poorly prepared. You're emotionally not ready. You're physically not ready. Timing, generally, whatever timing can be. Timing is one of the reasons why relationships have failed. Because of you've gone there when it is not the right time. Secondly, there is also difference in values, which is key. That there are relationships that have failed because the two people have different values in life. You understand? And so you find that what brings them together is something outside what they value. So you'll find, I am in love with this lady just because maybe she's brown, or because she has a particular thing that you want to take advantage of. But your values are different. And so you find that you're not going to stay together. The other reason is non-acceptance. Of course, this one comes to families, friends. So you're not accepted in the common circles. Or even the person you've been tying yourself on reaches a point and is like, no, I have not accepted you, non-acceptance. And the other thing that is so big is lack of trust. That somebody doesn't trust you, you're moving together, you're like the head of a trailer that is pulling the container behind. And at some point you find, because of maybe it has not been bolted well, you find the container being left behind, or you find that the body has fallen apart from the engine. So trust, lack of trust. You don't trust the person, and so you can't continue. The relationship is going to fail. The other thing that is common again among, I can't just say only the youths, because these things are happening even to people who are above youthful age, is the having worldly demands on one part, while the other person also has a different demand or a different expectation. So you have different expectations from different corners, from different mindsets. You're not going to stay together. Because if you're to look at a relationship that is going to lead you to get married and stay together, you find that actually marriage is actually not just a wedding. A wedding will not define marriage. Because there are people who have wedded and after a few days, they are separated. So having different demands, we have, and that covers even wrong motives. What takes you to the relationship is a wrong motive. You want to go there just to take advantage of something, but you have not gone there with your whole body. You have not gone there with your whole life. You have not gone there with everything that you have, but you have gone there with the wrong motive. And then also, we have poor communication. Poor communication. You're not communicating well, you're not open, you're not speaking your mind. You're not speaking things out from the beginning as you begin to relate, or as you begin to desire somebody. You're not speaking out. So poor communication. And so you find at the end also there is lack of respect. We have little intimacy between the people. Then we have what makes me, again, what is amazing, there are people who have fallen out in their relationship because they are moving or they are going through life at different speeds. Different speeds. I am Paul. I want us to go step by step. Maybe I've met you, I take you to my parents, we go visit your people, we sit down and draw budgets and see how we are going to move. While for you, like, no, since we are already relating, let me come and start staying in your house, and then other things can follow. Or we are going to get married. I want us to take 2 months or 3 before we get children, and the other one's like, no. I need to prove whether you can give birth. And so he wants to first have sex with you, and then you get pregnant to prove something. So you find that people are moving at different speeds. And this also now brings me to the issue of finances. You're moving at different speeds. How much do you have? What do you have? And all these things. And then the other is compatibility. You're not compatible. When you find that you're not compatible, you're not going to stay together.
Now you've given about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 9 or 10 reasons.
Yeah, the last one is doctrine for Christians.
And doctrine.
Doctrine.
Now, if you have these 10, which one would be the hardest? Like, which would carry more weight for you? Out of the 10, which is the reason why most young people are breaking up in their relationships today?
I would put timing.
Timing.
Because timing, to me, timing covers most of these things. The values, acceptance, the demands, the motives, communication, intimacy, respect. They are all because of timing. You're not ready to offer these things, but you've gone into a relationship.
When we return from the break, more on that. Welcome back from that short break. As we're sipping a little bit of water here. So we are still discussing relationships. Why are they breaking up? And why are others progressing with their relationships and getting married, and others are crying and mourning with heart attacks, heartbreaks, and name them, whatever name you might want to give them. So that's what we're discussing today. And you want to pay a keen ear to this. Paul says timing is a serious reason. And I will want to dig deep into that and then see if really the timing weighs. How about money? How can a relationship move without money? So we'll be discussing those in this half so that you understand. We'll choose to look at a few things later on towards the end of the segment, what can make a relationship flourish and then head for a marriage, because that would be the intent for a relationship. And so, Paul, you said timing is the big deal here. You weigh timing and money.
Okay.
What is a relationship minus money?
Maybe, Emma, let me ask you. You and I have shared life together.
Question and a question?
No. So, you and I have shared life together. When we talk about money, what do you mean?
Money. Ugandan currency, whether signed by the dead governor or the deputy governor.
So, is that in terms of, okay, who to be having money and who not to have money?
When one person has and the other doesn't have.
When one has, the other doesn't have. So when we talk about money, are we going to consider the amount of money? Because money is money.
No, we're looking at money and its ability to meet the need.
So here is the thing. I want to think when when you're relating and looking towards getting married, I don't think, because there are people who don't have money, if I'm to put in quotes, money in millions and dollars, but they are married and they are stable and they are happy and they have lived together for long.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to die when they are married. Of course, there are also those who don't have the money and their marriages have gotten torn apart. I'll come back to that. There are also these who have spent billions of money, and then in few days the relationship is gone. Why? There's money. It can buy everything the person needs, but that relationship lacks trust. That relationship lacks intimacy. That relationship doesn't have godliness in it. So, to me, when we talk about money and timing, I want to believe that when you've timed yourself, when you've set a time and you say that, I think I am ready. Of course, there are people who say, pray and God will speak to you about the time. God never told me, Paul, this is the time you must get married, but I found myself there. I never had that voice.
No, you took a decision to get married.
Yeah.
In simple terms, you decided.
So, the decision came because I felt I was ready for it. You understand? And I believe God was there with me.
So you had a feeling of your readiness.
Yes, which is timing.
And then you landed on one who was ready.
Yes.
Now imagine you had landed on one who is not ready.
I think we would not get married. Because I want to get married, I need somebody who is ready, not someone who is not ready. So that is again the problem, that you can't be ready to get married and you're going for somebody who is not ready to get married. That is like somebody who is 30 years going for a child of 2 years and you want to get married to them. That's how it appears to me. So I know money, people say money because the guy is broke, because the woman loves money. So for me, by the time people begin to reason in terms of, I left him because he doesn't have money, I left her because she doesn't have money, I left him because he doesn't provide, I left her because she's demanding for money, I think that means those people have missed the gist. They've missed the reason why God created marriage. Because I believe in Genesis 2, when you read, there is nowhere God says, Adam, you must make sure you have enough money.
So money is not an issue.
Money is not an issue.
Okay, let's look at...
But money is an issue because people have narrowed down relationships and marriage to be equated to how much do you have in your pocket.
But I also think to make it fun, to enjoy it, you need a bit of money. You might not need too much, but you still need some
what
money.
Is fun?
To enjoy it.
What is fun is the question. Because...
My brother, the day you go back without a kavera.
No, Emma, I've gone back to my house several times without a kavera. Here is the thing. The two of us understand each other. We talked before we got married. You understand? So, when I have, she knows he doesn't have. And that is it. And there's no debate about that.
But still...
But that does not mean I don't have to work hard to get it. Are you getting the point? And as I work hard to get money or to provide for her, she supports me in that process. So the thing is, marriage is about God first. And then all these other things will come later.
All right. So let's look at trust. Where is the place of trust in a relationship?
So, again, trust. What is your anchor for trust? If the reason for you to trust someone is because they're financially stable, We are living in a world where we don't control ourselves. I know there are people who preach out there that you determine who you are. You don't determine who you are. God does that. God decides our fate. So, trust comes when people are not open. Okay? When you're not open, when you don't speak openly to your partner, trust issues are going to come in. Because the person will feel there is something wrong. You're not speaking out something. And so you find that trust begins to linger. Or on the other hand, trust is going to fall if what brought the person in the relationship is not what they are finding. They're going to stop trusting you.
So in other words, but why would you be in a relationship with a person whom you don't trust?
Because what took you there is not what you found. And like I said, when I come to the person, or when you have approached someone and you have not spoken out things openly, when you're not open and genuine, there are going to be question marks.
Don't you dare get married to a person you don't trust. If you don't trust them, you will keep on getting heart attacks. That's my thought. Just get to a person whom you trust. Even when they come back late, you know, and you're sure they are not from a wrong place. But if you think they are from a wrong place, and things of trust are very funny.
Yeah.
And you see, it is the reason why there are punches every day in people's houses.
True.
Because even if the guy or the woman is not from what they think, somebody's mind is already made up that this person is from doing A, B, C, and D. If I don't trust your words when you say you don't have money, and then the next minute you are sending for a kilo of beef, will I trust your word next time? So work to keep your trust. If you don't do that, then your relationship is in trouble. Let's look at communication.
So I think communication will tie in, like with trust, being open. So, but communication is, again, is tricky. You might think you're communicating, and yet you're saying nothing. In the communication comes with openness. In the communication comes with being genuine. In the communication, as you're speaking, at least you must be looking like speaking what the other person can see. Like Emma, if I meet you and I say, Emma, I need your help. You get? You should be able to read it in my mind that Paul needs help. But again, beyond just Paul needs help, here is the thing. You trust that I will not lie to you that I need help, yet I need money to go and do something dubious. So, as you communicate, you're communicating to the person you've known. You're communicating to the person you've seen. And your communication should be truth. Truth, truth, truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Truth. Say the truth. Because even the Bible says, say the truth and it will set you free.
But you know, sometimes even when you speak the truth and if they've known you to be a liar, they think you're lying.
Yeah, then that means you're not a trustworthy person. Because if they've known you that you lie, then you can never speak the truth. Even in the so-called truth you're speaking, there might be a lie. So why should they trust you?
So even in the truth you're speaking, there is a lie.
Yeah.
So where is the truth then?
You need to cultivate that. You need to cultivate that life of being truthful to what you're speaking.
But what we're trying to echo out here is truth is very important. Truth is a key thing, and truth will bring trust. Without truth, you can't get trust. And you know, every lie you make, you have to make another lie to defend
the other.
So there is a lineage of a lie you have to make to defend a lie.
And at some point, you will not lie anymore. I read something. It is a joke that somebody says, if you want genuine people to relate with, go to their cholis, because they ever speak the truth, but when they are leaving you, they will not tell you that I'm going, but they will just go back to Gulu. And you will never find them.
They go back to Gulu.
They will just go
Gulu is heaven. That was a joke. That was a joke. Who knows who will go to Gulu and who is going to heaven? So, but the word is almost the same. So communication is very important.
Yeah.
Truth is very important, and truth will bring trust, which trust is very important. You don't want to dare to be with someone whom you can't trust. The timing is a beautiful thing that I thought would catch up with. It is very important for you to understand the person you're going to catch up with. If you're ready, I normally tell students in high school, why are you getting into a relationship? For what? And we speak our wrong English. For why? For why is very wrong English, but that is a short word to demand for a reason.
Why you're getting
there. You are 14 years, girl. The guy is 16 years. Where is hope in this thing? There is no hope totally. And so one needs you need to check up your timing. Are you ready? And the person you're going for, is the person as well ready? If the person is not ready, then the better you leave. So these are some of the reasons: poor communication, poor timing, and then poor communication. What made your relationship to flourish?
We talked through stuff. So I knew Carol, and not that we were too close friends for long. I think by the time we became too close was the time when I was telling her, you know what, I need you to be my wife. But to cut the long thing short is, we had to talk through stuff. We had to ask one another tough questions. And some of these tough questions are about Christian faith, our values. What are your values? What do you uphold? Do they rhyme with what I have? Tough talks. Things to do with the values in terms of sex, pre-marital sex, formal life, your health, spiritual gifts, family background, things to do with the church, things to do with the finances, and being genuine. Being genuine. If she's to ask you, Paul, where are you? If I'm not home, I say I'm not home. Most times if I'm with Odeke, I will say I am with Odeke. What time are you going to arrive home? I don't know. Being genuine, being open. And
being yourself.
Yes.
So you still see the arrows are still pointing to communication.
And I was not sending her money to make her love me. No.
Oh. Did she send you some?
Maybe at some point, but was not on demand. That if you don't send me money, I will not love you.
It was at personal will.
It was at personal will.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
And unlike some girls today who think the only way out is cash and cash and cash. Cash is good, but it just can't keep it there. It can't keep it there. Compromise and disagreements. How best can people handle their disagreements in relationships? Because the truth is, it is not a bed of roses. Before marriage and even during marriage, it isn't a bed of roses. We are not from the same family. You're not from the same family. Even if you were from, even brothers disagree and fight. So how best should disagreements be handled?
I want to speak to people out there, and especially Christians, because that's where I belong. If you're not a Christian and you're listening to us, because I don't know where your core values are, and I don't know what guides your life, I may not be in position to help you much. But if you're a Christian and you're out there, I think the Bible teaches us quite a lot of things. That if you've accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior, this Jesus, we don't just accept him so that we get rich, so that we become like a known and whatever they have narrowed salvation to. But when you have accepted Christ, he also teaches you how to walk. He also teaches you how to live out life there. And one of the things we learn that we are sinners. The best thing we offer in our salvation is our sinful life. And so the thing is, the best way to handle differences in our relationship takes us back to Christ. That Jesus forgave us with all the sinful things we have done. And so if your partner has done something wrong before you, and you have your anger things and so on, and you can't compromise and lower yourself down and you're like, but I'm also a sinner, and at some point I will also do this. Or not because you want to do it, but you find yourself doing it. So I think being a Christian and following Christ, that love of Christ should teach us to know how to handle our partners. That's all, Emma.
Very interesting things. We have about 5 minutes left here. Now, in these 5 minutes, I want you to come up with a clear message to young people out there, those who are planning on getting to relationships, and those who are already in relationships. How best can they handle them and push them to the direction that it is supposed to go? And that should be able to give us a winding beat for our talk for today.
Friends, I think let's study our Bibles when you go to Genesis 2, where God was speaking to Adam. But for now, I just want to take us that if you study through 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that many people talk about love, love, love. Take time and study through that passage and know what actually love means. Love means through that passage. And also, if you think that is too long, you come to Colossians 3 from verses 18, where Paul is telling these people, wives submit. What does submission mean? And husbands think being a boyfriend or a husband is just about the wife must submit. You also have a part to play. Husbands, love. So loving and submission, which one is easier? I don't think any of them is easier. But then in verse 24 of chapter 3 says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. So the reason taking you to the relationship should be to serve God. That is one. 2, never go for someone whom you don't share the same belief with. Doctrine. 3, talk through stuff. Be open. Plan to talk through things. Be honest. Learn to listen. Learn to stick to one another. And friends, the thing here is, get ready to know that you're going to stay with someone who was not born from your belly. But this is somebody who is born from another mother. And so, if you're not ready to compromise, if you're not ready to listen and allow somebody to teach you, don't go for a relationship. But above all, if you're not ready to get married, just leave these things. Don't go for them.
Because if you go for them,
you're doing the wrong thing.
The
relationship should lead to marriage.
You'll cause yourself heart attack.
Yes.
So, well, friends, my simple message to us today is communicate right? Speak the truth which cultivates trust, and learn to compromise with minor things. Major things don't compromise, but minor things compromise, and it is a sacrifice that everybody must do. But above it all, whatever you can't do now, apart from having sex as a young person, if you cannot do it now, it might be hard to do it when you get married. If you can't submit now, I'm not sure if you'll submit then. If you can't love now, truly loving, it might be hard to love them. Have a good night. From me and the team, it's a good night. God bless you. Till we meet again next Tuesday.